All these recipes are made in the slow cooker, which is one of my favorite ways to cook, not just a certain time of year. I love to use it all year round. Hey y'all, I'm Valerie and welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, I'm sharing 5 crock-pot recipes. Some of these are new family favorites. Okay y'all, let's get started. This was Mexican street corn chicken and it was amazing. To make it, you're going to add 2 cans of drained Southwest corn to your crock pot. I also added 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, and then you're just going to give that a quick stir. Now you're going to lay down anywhere from 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken, followed by a can of drained Rotel, and I use the mild. Oh, and also a 4-ounce can of the diced green chilies. I drained those too, and for the seasonings, you're going to add 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and 1/2 teaspoon each of onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, and chili powder, and 1 teaspoon of Tajin. I laid on an 8-ounce block of softened cream cheese, and now I'm just adding a couple tablespoons of lime juice. Now you're going to put that lid on and set it to cook on low for about 6 hours. You're just going to let it cook until that chicken is completely cooked through. Every crock pot is different, so just check it around 4 or 5 hours just to see if your chicken's done. So when it's done, you're going to remove that chicken. I just kind of tried to knock everything off of there, but you're going to remove it to a separate bowl and shred it, or you can dice it if you prefer. And before you add that chicken back in, you're just going to give it all a really good stir to make sure you get that cream cheese well incorporated. Then I added back in the chicken and about 1/3 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. And feel free to add more if you want, or you can add in some queso fresco or some feta if you have it. After you get it all mixed together, then this dinner is ready to eat. I served ours over white rice, but you could also serve it over Spanish rice or even the cilantro lime rice. And I topped it with more Parmesan cheese and fresh chopped cilantro. This is crock-pot chicken, green beans, and potatoes. I just sprayed my crock-pot with a little nonstick spray. Then you're going to add in about 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken. I used a little over 1 pound. Now you can season this chicken however you like, but I did some onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, and salt and pepper. Or you could even use an all-purpose seasoning. You just want to season it to taste. Now on top of that chicken, you're going to add about 1 pound of red potatoes. You don't have to peel them, just wash them really good and then cut them into bite-sized pieces. Then on top of that, you're going to add 2 cans of drained whole green beans. Or you can use frozen or fresh if you'd rather do that. I just kind of spread them out there to make sure I got everything in there evenly. Then you're going to sprinkle over 1 packet of the onion soup mix. And trust me here, those potatoes need seasonings, so I also added some more onion powder and garlic powder. Then I laid over about 6 tablespoons of butter that I cut into slices. Now you're going to cover it and set it to cook on low anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. You want that chicken to be completely cooked through and those potatoes to be tender. My crock pot tends to cook a little on the faster side, or it gets a little hotter, I guess, so it doesn't always take mine as long. I just serve the chicken whole here, but you could also certainly shred it. It would be really good shredded, mixed into those juices there with the butter. But I just put those green beans and potatoes on the side, but this dinner was absolutely delicious. That chicken was tender and flavorful. And I'm telling you, I had somebody that wasn't so sure about this until they tried it, but they absolutely loved it. It don't always have to be covered with cheese to be delicious. I've seen these Ohio chicken sandwiches, and the secret ingredient here takes them over the top. You're going to start by adding in 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken, followed by 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. And for the seasonings, I'm just doing 1/2 teaspoon each of pepper and oregano. You're going to lay 4 tablespoons of butter on the top of that, and then put that lid on and set it to cook on low for 6 hours. When that chicken is completely cooked through, you're going to remove it to a separate bowl or plate and shred it. You can shred it fine or leave it kind of chunky. Just do whatever you prefer. And I just used my electric mixer to shred mine, and I shredded it up pretty fine. After you get that chicken back in there, you're going to add in a 6-ounce box of chicken flavored stovetop stuffing, or a Great Value brand in my case. You don't prepare it, just add in the dry stuffing mix. Then you're going to stir it in and mix it into that chicken and cream of chicken soup mixture really good. Then we're going to put the lid back on and let it continue to cook for about 5 or 10 more minutes to give that stuffing mix time to soak up some of that liquid. Soak up all that flavor. I just served this on some brioche buns. I did add on a little bit of mayonnaise and some provolone cheese, but these were amazing. We were absolutely shocked. And I've already had somebody to ask me when I was going to make this again. So I'm really glad I tried them. This crock-pot Mexican chicken is like a staple here for me, and it's perfect to meal prep for the week. You're going to start by adding 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken to your crock-pot. Then you're going to pour over about a half a cup of your favorite salsa. Now we're going to add a little sweetness to balance the heat. Now you're going to add 3 to 4 tablespoons of brown sugar, or you can do like me and use the Swerve brown sugar substitute. I also added a can of mild diced green chilies. Next, you're going to add in a drained can of fire-roasted diced tomatoes. For the seasonings, I did 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon each of cumin, garlic powder, and onion powder, and half a teaspoon each of smoked paprika, oregano, and pepper. And the recipe called for 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke. This stuff is really strong if you've ever used it, so I did a half a teaspoon. And I thought that was perfect. Now we're just going to cover this and set it to cook on low, anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. Just cook it until that chicken is completely cooked through. And when it's done, if you want to just shred your chicken and add it back in here, you can. But there is quite a bit of liquid left, so I do like to drain mine. I'll tell you how I do it. I just remove that chicken to a separate bowl and set it aside. I just took my whole insert out here and I took it over to the counter and drained it and got rid of all that juice. Well, I didn't get rid of it, I saved it. You're going to add back in what you drained, those tomatoes and green chilies and stuff, and here's the juice that I reserved. You're going to shred that chicken however you like and add it back into the crock pot there, along with those drained tomatoes and stuff. Okay, y'all, I was starving. I was picking at the chicken there. I gave it a quick stir, and then here, you can go ahead and add in back however much juice you like. You'll want to start slow and add however much you like. Now, if you want to, you can take that juice that you reserved or drained out, and you can add it to a saucepan on the stove top. And then you can add it back to the crock pot, and that way your chicken won't be too wet. But I just used some of that juice to pour over my rice. Oh, and I did serve mine over cauliflower rice. It was the cauliflower risotto medley. And I topped it with sour cream, avocado, and green onions. And here's the cauliflower rice I use. I love it. It has little pieces of mushroom and asparagus in it. This is one of my favorite easy dinners, and it is always a 10 out of 10. And the leftovers are really good too. I seen this crock-pot spaghetti casserole and I had to try it. I'm starting out on the stovetop. In a large skillet here, I have 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pound of sausage. Try to use Italian sausage, but if you use regular like I did, just add in a little Italian seasoning. And you're just going to break this up and let it cook until that ground beef and sausage is completely cooked through. It's done, so I'm going to drain that grease. There was a little more grease than normal from that sausage there, so I just removed it and took it over to the counter and drained it really good, and then added it back to the stovetop. Now to that meat mixture, you're going to add an undrained can of petite diced tomatoes and a 24-ounce jar of your favorite pasta sauce. You're also going to add half a cup of water, and I just poured my water into that jar and shook it up really good to get all that sauce out. Now you're just going to stir this, and this was not in the recipe, but I decided to add on some Italian seasoning and garlic powder. just for a little extra flavor. Now stir it, and I'll let mine sit here and simmer for about 5 minutes. Then you're going to remove it from the heat and take it over to the crock pot. We're going to spoon half of that meat mixture to the bottom there, and make sure you spread it out into an even layer. You want to make sure you spread it all the way to the edges. Now you're going to add in 8 ounces of angel hair pasta. If you're using the whole size, you can break it into thirds, but I'm using the half size, so I just broke mine in half, which made quarters. Break them small, and then you're just going to take that uncooked pasta and sprinkle it evenly on top of that meat mixture. Make sure that pasta is in there evenly. Then you're going to cover it with the other half of that meat mixture. Now sprinkle over 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, along with half a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. Now we're going to cover it, and you're going to set this to cook on low for 4 hours. I finally figured out how to get this crock pot below 6 hours. You have to set it on 6 and start it, and then lower it. Okay, here it is after 4 hours. It smells delicious, and you do need to let this stand about 15 minutes before you serve it. That way it has a chance to set up. This was so good. It was fun to make, something different. You know, you don't ever make spaghetti in your crock pot. This would be great to make, to put together before church. You know, somewhere, if you have to go somewhere that you're not going to be gone all day. We really enjoyed this one. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe down below for more easy recipes, and I will see you in the next one.